Alright, so right out of the gate from Ryan Shepard's article, you can kind of tell who the audience was, and it kind of can be confused. He he isn't talking to the students or yeah, the students. He's talking to the professors, and through this, he's trying to teach the professors how to teach all these like rhetorical strategies, and he goes through the article and just explains everything in great depth, and he really does do a good job of like getting his point across and making connections. And that's also another thing that he talks about in his article is making connections, also known as transfer. And actually, that's one of the bigger concepts of the article. And the article is called "Digital Writing Multimodality and Learning Transfer: Crafting Connections Between Composition and Online Composing." And even in the title, he says connections, which can be related to like transfer. And with this whole transfer thing, he is talking like making connections between past writing and just making literally connections with anything. And so in the article, Shepard used logos, and he does this by he has a bunch of graphs, and he uses numbers. For example, I have my essay pulled up right here. He says, a way of expressing one's feelings and opinions through pen and paper. Please note that only 25% there's logos, and so on and so forth. And he just uses numbers. Um, Ethos is the authority and the credibility aspect of writing, and he has that because he does work at a college, Ohio University, and he's actually in the English department. So that's where the credibility and authority comes from. The pathos, it's not really directly like mentioned. You kind of got to go looking for it, and um, the pathos of this particular article would be that he cares about the students, and that's why he kind of wrote this to teach the teachers how to teach the students so they become better, get better grades, and are able to communicate and write papers like more effectively. And I think the whole article was just like I really liked it. It's really informative and informational, and it taught me a lot. Um, like for example, I didn't really know what transfer was, and he connected things to like show us what it was, and he gave examples. Um, yeah, for example, he used one of the examples, transferring credits to a new university or transferring from one bus to another. Like that's an example of transfer. And he went in more depth in saying backwards reaching transfer and forward reaching transfer, high road transfer, and yeah, all those. But he really backed things up, and even if I didn't really understand anything and I just continued to read, I would eventually understand. And that's about it.